So a quick rundown of the Torqeedo setup on a 2021 PA12 360. The Torqeedo's been out for 2 trips, but I finally finished doing everything to it that I want to, and so I thought I'd just run a video to show everybody how I set it up and the extra equipment that I got to put it all together. Starting with the back and the motor, I got a rock guard from Innovative Sportsman to keep from banging up the motor and give it a little bit more protection. And along with the rock guard from Innovative Sportsman, I also got a steering tee made out of metal. The one that comes with the 1103 Torqeedo is it's plastic, but it has a metal trim on it to help reinforce it. But I heard about this one, so I went ahead and bought it just to beef that up and not have to worry about it. I'll mention that for steering, what I decided to do was go with Tim Percy's universal steering setup. And you can see part of the setup here. It comes with the metal wires made up. The adapter here where the sheathing meets up with the wire. And there's plenty of sheathing to go up to the actual steering control that I mounted up there. I'll get up to that in a minute. One thing I've done with the Torqeedo here is when it comes with this I don't know, gray and orange 1/8 wire or rope. It's actual rope. And I switched it all over to black, and I moved up from 1/8 to 3/16 the black rope, partly so that it'll roll in the pulleys I've set up here a little bit better than the 1/8. I got a pulley set up to raise and lower it. I have a double on the top, I have a double on the bottom, and then that goes out to a single, and then it runs forward. And I'll show you that a little bit better when I go up the other side. When you get the Tim Percy steering, it can be used with a Torqeedo or a Newport News, and this adapter is different for the two. So this is for the Torqeedo. I mounted it, and what I did with the one that goes on the Newport News, if you use it, is I mounted it on the bottom of the battery case here so it'll sit level. What I did is I took it and I velcroed it so it sticks there, and that way the battery sits a little more stable that way. I do bungee that to the back of my live well when I go out, but that's just using the parts sitting around there best I could. I'll walk this line here. I'll walk this up to one of the connections I made. It's for reverse. When you pull this and lock it, what it does is it locks it in across a bar down there so that you can actually go into reverse and the motor won't pull itself up and out of the water. And you use this line that I rigged right along here up to a T-handle that I made and connected right here. What I did is I put a piece of bungee on the end of it so I can just loop it over here, and that way it keeps it secured and I don't have to sit there and hold it. I just need to remember to let go of it so that it'll be able to kick up should I hit a rock or something, or a log or something in the water. While I'm up here, I might as well mention the controller. I mounted the controller with a Railblaza mount. I put Velcro in here, and it's Velcroed on there, and I just ran a piece of bungee over there to make it a little bit more secure. I'll work my way back to the back, and I'll explain that one of the other mods that I did here before, when I decided to put the Torqeedo on, was I added two 21-inch rails in the back. As you can see, I I have my tackle boxes mounted on them, and those were previously mounted up on the other H-rail, but when I put the Percy Percy steering in, it took up the spot where the box used to sit on the right. So I just added the H-rails in the back, the 21-inch H-rails, and moved my tackle boxes back there. I did switch from the Hobie mount to the one objective mount back here in the back. It's a little bit thicker. It's all black. I didn't have to paint this one like I did the one that Hobie had, but I figured new setup, I'd get a new mount, and I'm real pleased with that also. This gives you a quick look at the double pulley setup here to help lift up the Torqeedo. Down, and then this line runs into this single pulley, runs over to this single pulley, and now we'll start forward with the black line. And I'll stop here where the handle is for the steering, and point out that this upper part is what comes with the system, and I've mounted this. It's called the Universal Steering System. I've mounted it to a Yak Gadget rail system that is made to hook onto your H-rail. Setup, it's great. Nothing complicated about it. Anyway, following the line, it runs up through this pulley and then back to a cleat that actually came with the Torqeedo, and I just mounted this cleat on the paddle I had here because I already had a cleat there for an anchor system that I have, and I got it hooked up with a T-handle. I just pull it and I can pull the thing up. It takes a little effort even with the pulleys, so I'm glad I got them. As you can see, I have an empty bay up here, which is one of the reasons I went with Tim Percy steering. I didn't want to put in the foot controls for steering because it takes up more space and makes it a little bit more cluttered in there. I guess it's 6 of one, half a dozen the other, which I like. But when I saw that Tim had made this system up for that, I said I'm going to try that one instead of the foot control. There's not as much that you have to go in and do to your hull either to mount this one. This one is all mounted externally. I could take this off the kayak and nobody would know I ever had one on it. No extra holes, no running things inside or anything. So that's pretty much the setup on it. I'm happy with it. I did add a little extra covering here just to keep things neat and tidy, and switching over to the black 3/16 doesn't make it look as busy or as cluttered. There's a lot going on with the reverse pull, and then you got the steering cables, and then you got the cables to the rope to pull it up and down, and all, so it can get pretty busy back here. But by switching over to all black, it kind of blends in with everything and doesn't look as busy.